Welcome, everybody. A new week that sees United return to action after a short breather. Welcome to the MUTV group chat. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's catch up with the lads, or some of the lads, as you will see. We've got Danny here, we've got Ben here, we've got Maisie here, but there's no sign of Wes. Boys, morning. How are you getting on? All right?
Morning, Stu. All good, mate. You?
Yeah, we're okay. I think, Ben, you might have an idea about why Wes is not available.
Well, it was my brother's birthday yesterday, and with it falling on a weekend, he sort of eked it out from Thursday onwards, and I think it culminated yesterday. And Wes was with him, so I'm not saying that is the reason, but it possibly might be.
You've got a knowing smile there, Danny. Do you know more than?
I'm choice of words. It possibly might be.
Yeah.
There should be a fine, by the way.
Yeah. What are we thinking?
Well, I'm not being funny. Like, if he can't handle his drink, he shouldn't be going out, should he?
Yeah, Maisie, I do agree with that. If it's alcohol related, it needs to be a bit of a punishment.
Absolutely. Scandalous.
I missed one show, and I never, you just destroyed me, and I had to do something. So what are we going? What's going to be his? What's he going to do?
What do you reckon?
I don't know. I mean, it's what would be awkward for him? Is singing. What about singing? A song?
Singing.
No.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be nice.
Yeah. All right. So that's what we'll try and do. So hopefully we're actually not on again until Friday, and hopefully Wes will be back by then. Just a quick bit of reaction to Friday's show. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully, you never know. Just a bit of reaction to last Friday's show when Paddy was on. A lot of reaction, but I'm just going to go through a little bit of it because you loved having Paddy on. This on Twitter from Suze, who says, "Love Paddy Crone, really miss his Monday night show. It was a real tonic seeing him safe and well on the show tonight. I got all teary at the end when he said he couldn't wait to see everyone face to face again. Proper legend, really kind, generous." Not sure about that, but I appreciate what you're saying there, Suze.
I knew you were going to say something there.
Yeah, but no.
You couldn't have something nice being said to Paddy about Paddy.
This on YouTube from this is from NASA, who says Paddy was before my time, but absolutely love his persona and mentality. Another one here, Paddy is the best, absolute legend. I don't think anyone loves United more than this guy. And finally, this is not about Paddy, but it was about the weekend. Suggestion: why don't United buy striker Aubameyang? He's a great player. That, of course, after the cup final at the weekend. Boys, did you see the cup final? And would you mind having Aubameyang at Old Trafford?
I'd have him all day.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
Goal scorer.
Yeah, 31. But would you? He is a brilliant goal scorer, Dan, isn't he?
You know what? He just looks like he enjoys scoring goals. Enjoys being, doing the business, and he does it in key moments as well. So. Yeah, he'd be good. Like I said, the only off-putting thing would be he's 31. So how many years are you going to get out of him at his peak? When you're looking at the likes of Marcus and Martial and at that age. But then he might add a little bit of experience that kicks them on. So, but no, he's a top player, one of the best in the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah, Ben, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, his second goal was superb. I mean, when you're on a stage like that, all right, you've not got the fans screaming in your ear, but you go through one-on-one, and he just doesn't panic. He waits for the goalkeeper to make his move, and he just dinks it over the top of him. And I think if of all the strikers in the Premier League, and there are a couple, but he is definitely one where in that situation you always feel as though he's going to find the back of the net wherever whichever angle he's approaching the goal from. And he's very right-footed, but he took that with his left foot. I thought it was a super finish.
Yeah. There you go. So, a great player, but 31. Maybe he'll be staying at Arsenal. We'll have to wait and see. But United, of course, back in action this week. They play the second leg of their Europa League last 16 tie against the Austrian side LASK on Wednesday, 5 months after the first meeting. And things have gone downhill quite dramatically for LASK since lockdown. So let's go over to Vienna now and speak to a man who's part of a podcast about Austrian football. It's called The Other Bundesliga. It's Lee WIngate, who's good enough to join us on the group chat. Hi, Lee. How you doing, mate?
Hi there. Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Morning, Lee.
Yeah, good.
Right,
I met you, spoke to you in Linz ahead of the first leg a long time ago. And at that point, things were going great for LASK. They were clear at the top of the Austrian Bundesliga. They were going brilliantly in Europe, but they've been at the centre of huge controversy since then, or since the lockdown. I wonder if you could give us a little potted history of what has gone so disastrously wrong for us.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like you say, they were on fine form at the time of the first leg. I think they'd won 8, drawn 1 and lost 1 of their previous 10 league fixtures, and they were well positioned to get their first league title since 1965. Then the United game happened, the lockdown, and after the lockdown, teams were gradually allowed to restart training again, albeit without full contact. And there was a bit of an open secret at the time. There were rumours that LASK were training with full contact before they were allowed to. And the Austrian Bundesliga, the league here, got hold of some footage which showed that they were in fact training with full contact before they were supposed to. We don't actually know conclusively where that footage came from, but 2 masked intruders had broken into LASK's training ground and installed video cameras. And they held a press conference pretty soon afterwards, came clean and said that they'd trained 4 times with full contact. It really didn't go down well here at all. They were accused of unsporting behaviour and trying to gain an unfair competitive advantage. And yeah, they were ultimately docked 6 points, which was reduced to 4 points on appeal.
And because of that, they essentially ended up going from 1st to 4th, because their form in the sort of end of season, the second part of the season, the sort of almost like the playoffs at the end, fell off a cliff, didn't it?
Yeah, I think the points deduction was a really significant psychological blow, because Salzburg are just so dominant here that you need every possible point you can get. And I think they just fell apart after that. If you look at their 10 league fixtures since the lockdown, they won 3, drew 1 and lost 6. So you can really see that their form totally fell off a cliff. Quite how much the training scandal is attributable, is the reason behind that, we don't really know. But there were other things going on within the camp as well. They parted ways with their manager a few weeks ago. So I don't know if it was entirely down to the training scandal, but it certainly played a big role.
How big a story was it over there? And has their whole reputation as a club been damaged by this?
I think it's been significantly damaged because they were a team that was finally challenging Salzburg, whose dominance here is just complete. They win everything. And I think a lot of people were really enjoying the fact that on a much lower budget, they put together a great run in the league, the cup and the Europa League as well. Since this has happened, this is a country a bit like Germany where rules are super important. You saw that during the coronavirus lockdown, people were staying inside. They weren't going out and gathering in groups. And I think the fact that football was in a privileged position where they were allowed to start training again and they'd abused that privilege essentially, I think it's significantly affected their reputation.
Lee, is there any rumours as to who went in and put the cameras in place?
At the moment, all we know is it's 2 masked intruders. We don't know any more than that. There are investigations into who was doing that. But it's interesting that LASK subsequently came out and said that, hey, we weren't the only club that was training with full contact before we were allowed to. And they accused the other clubs in the league of doing so without providing any evidence. So that made them even more unpopular, I think, with the other clubs in the Bundesliga.
Do you think because obviously they were upsetting the apple cart at the top of the table, obviously could it, potentially have been a fan of another team or someone from another team? Is that rumoured over there?
There were rumours, I think very loose rumours that, it could have been someone loosely associated with one of the other clubs. But I think, to be honest, this is a problem of their own making. They caused this. They've subsequently admitted that it was a really serious mistake and it's proved really costly. So I think they've only got themselves to blame.
And you mentioned the manager now. I mean, was this going to be his first game at Old Trafford?
It is, yeah. He was Dominic Thalhammer is his name. For the last 9 years, he's been the head coach of the Austria women's national team, and he did a great job there. So he's been brought in, and he immediately asked for his contract to be terminated so that he'd be able to be on the touchlines for this game. So yeah, it's a pretty big baptism of fire for a coach, an Austrian coach, to be at Old Trafford for his first competitive game in charge.
What sort of state are they going to be at Old Trafford? Obviously, I haven't played for a few weeks. It was 5-0, obviously, 5 months ago. What are you expecting at Old Trafford on Wednesday night?
Well, I would just add about the first leg. I think there are a lot of circumstances there. Obviously, Manchester United were the far superior team, but I think they were really affected by the crowd. That was the first behind closed doors game in Austria, and they've been so good at home in Europe, really relying on that home crowd. And I think it really affected them. And then, of course, there were the 2 goals in stoppage time at the end of that first leg that really turned it from a comfortable victory into a rout. I think they're actually much worse placed to go into the second leg, to be honest. They've got a new coach. There was a very acrimonious departure of their previous coach. They've lost a couple of players. So 2 of their 4 strikers who are registered to play in the Europa League, that's João Klaus and Samuel Tete, their loan spells have ended. So I think they're going to be very light up front. And they've signed 3 new players as well who aren't eligible to play. So I think it's very much going to be their squad is lighter and definitely worse placed to face Manchester United. So I really fear for them going into the second leg, and I feel like it wouldn't be too surprising if the aggregate scoreline was in double figures.
Lee,
Really?
has the change of manager been attributed to the misdemeanor or to the league form, or a combination of both?
Actually, there's another reason. So I initially thought that it would be predominantly due to the training scandal and the fact that the season just fell apart from there, because Ismail, their previous coach, had a huge part in instigating those training sessions. He was the one that wanted to give his team some extra impetus and for them to be match fit in time for the restart. So I think he played a large part in that. But there have been reports that have come out since that a number of his coaching staff and the senior players spoke out against him. They were unhappy with his methods. And I think that's probably played a big role, because beforehand, when results were going so well, I think it was possible to gloss over those tensions and ignore them a bit. But with results going badly and unhappiness in the camp, I think it was impossible to ignore. And that looks to be the main reason why he lost his job.
So player power sort of shoved him out a little bit as well.
Yeah, they in Germany and in Austria, they have something called like a player council, where they have like the senior players who sort of communicate with the management, and they go to their opinions for quite a few things. And I think the vice president of LASK, Jürgen Werner, openly spoke with these senior players, and I don't think the response that he got was that encouraging. So I think that's probably motivated them to act.
Still a big deal, though, is it, for these guys to be playing at Old Trafford, albeit an empty Old Trafford, which is a shame for them, but is it still... It's rare for United to play Austrian teams. Sturm Graz a long time ago now, Rapid Vienna a long time ago. It's still a big deal for the guys.
It's absolutely massive. Yeah, I mean, this is a huge platform. There, this is the kind of occasion that they'll remember for the rest of their lives. So yeah, it's a massive deal. But I just think with the change of manager and the loss of players, I just really can't see it going well for them. I'd like to see them give a better account of themselves in the first leg. I mean, I'm a United fan, so I'm hoping United go through, but I'd like to see them at least not crumble like they did in the first leg, because that was just a shame to see. I would also add as well that they haven't played competitively now for almost a month, whereas United, it was only, I think, 10 days ago or 9 days ago that they finished the league against Leicester. So I think there's probably going to be a significant difference in match fitness as well.
Yeah. Lee, it's been great having you on. Just a quick word about your podcast, where people catch up with you, the Other Bundesliga.
Yeah, the Other Bundesliga, it's about all things Austrian football, so the national team, the league, and the teams that are in Europe as well. So it's called the Other Bundesliga, and it's on Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere where you get podcasts, really.
Great for you to join us today, mate. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Enjoy the game. Good luck. Bye.
Thanks.
Cheers, mate. Lee WIngate putting us in the picture there from the Other Bundesliga podcast. It does sound like it is a hopeless task, isn't it, for LASK after all that extraordinary drama. I was just thinking, Ben, about United's team options for Wednesday. We've got some shots of the lads training and a couple of young lads involved who have been involved in training of late. Ted and Mengi, Ethan Laird, they've been involved in the training. Would you expect those guys to be involved on Wednesday night?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. I think after the Leicester game, I think it was a really good opportunity for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to give his players who performed so well since we came back against Spurs, sort of 4 or 5 days to themselves to be with their families, maybe go and away for a couple of days. And it gives him a really good opportunity to play some of these lads that have, Ethan Laird, Ted and Mengi, lads that were getting sort of relatively close before the lockdown, who we've not really heard much about since. I think it gives him a huge opportunity to be able to play them, knowing that that they are good enough with whatever team league decides to put out to not allow a deficit of 5 goals to be overturned, and indeed to give them that confidence that they're still in the picture and they're going to want to play a first team game, and I think this is the absolute ideal opportunity.
Yeah, amazing. Would you just switch it around? It doesn't really matter, does it? What side you play? I mean, you maybe give some players who haven't played that much in the post-lockdown.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben's bang on. It's a time to give those lads, the likes of Scott, Pereira, Jesse, Gallo, and many others who can come in and do a job. It's not a case of we've got to be careful because 5-0 and listening to the lad there, it should be a comfortable win for us. But it's a chance for them, to get match fitness, get another game under the belt, and if need be, if they need to come in at one point or a couple of stages later on in the tournament, then they can do that. So yeah, Ollie's going to use the full squad and get this tie out of the way, really.
It would be a week today, actually. In a week's time, that's when United would be involved in the quarterfinal in Cologne against Istanbul, Başakşehir or Copenhagen. So it comes upon you pretty quickly. I think United clearly are going to be there, but just want to get the job done on Wednesday night. Right, who wants a quiz, guys? By popular demand, we had quite a few quizzes during lockdown, and we thought as the season essentially ended, or the Premier League season ending, we'd have a kind of end of season quiz to. I think Ben was Ben the overall champion during lockdown, quiz-wise? Oh, he's got his book. He's got his book there already. He's got his little black book.
He's got all the answers in his book.
Whoa.
And I've got my glasses on.
Professional.
Right. All the answers in his book.
Wow. Yeah. Now we know. Obviously, during lockdown, we did think Ben had those sort of magic glasses where you can see the internet in his glasses. You know what they are?
Definitely.
They're just not.
Come off.
Google Glass.
Well, yeah, Google Glass. That's it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Right, let's get cracking then. This is the quiz. Then a few end of season questions here. First, who scored United's first goal of the Premier League season? Obviously, we were playing Chelsea. You remember? Glorious day. Who scored United's first goal of the Premier League season? Was that a guess? Who scored United's first goal of the Premier League season? Which is question 1, 4-0 against Chelsea, which you'll remember on that, which basically a year ago now, and the season's still going. Who scored United's first goal of the Premier League season? That's question 1. Question 2, it's about Mason Greenwood. Who did he score his first goal for Manchester United against? It was this season. Who did Mason Greenwood score his first Manchester United goal against? Was in the early part of this season. He's got 17 now. Incredible season for Mason. So who did Mason Greenwood score his first Manchester United goal against? That's question 2. Danny's still thinking there. I can see the wheels turning. The wheels turning.
Google, Ben's got it.
Yeah.
Tell you what, mate, I have.
You just typing
out. He's
Got
got 5 answers down.
Yeah. Question 3 then. Where did United win their first away game of the Premier League season? So where did United win their first away game of the Premier League season?
Ben was there.
Yeah.
No, I will have been. I can't remember.
It's not an unreasonable question, surely. Where did United win their first away game of the Premier League? In October, that's of any use. Why it's any use, but anyway, where did United win their first away game of the Premier League season? Which is question 3. Okay. All right, Dan? Yeah.
Yeah, far away. I'm just thinking. I'm still thinking about Mason.
Question 4. How many penalties in all competitions have United been awarded this season? How many penalties in all competitions have United been awarded this season? How many penalties in all competitions have United been awarded this season? And for a bonus, how many have they scored? So how many penalties in all competitions have United been awarded this season? It's a lot. And the bonus, how many did United score is the bonus. How many of those?
There is a penalty gate, isn't there? There's a penalty gate at the moment about it.
Well, yeah.
Led by Mourinho.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the fifth question is, who did Bruno Fernandes score his first United goal against? February it was. Who did Bruno Fernandes score his first United goal against? And that's that. And there's going to be a sixth question, which is like the sixth question, the final question, which is, how many goals have United's front three scored between them? And I say the front three, I mean Rashford,
in all competitions.
Greenwood. Yeah. How many goals have United's front three in all competitions scored between them? That is Rashford, Martial, Greenwood. Okay, so how many goals between them in all competitions have the front three scored? Okay, so there are the six questions, or the six and a bonus. And we'll go through the answers. Maisie's not looking totally convinced here. So
No.
Okay.
Don't worry, mate.
Who
You're on your own.
Yeah. Who scored United's first goal of the Premier League season? The answer was Marcus Rashford. It was a penalty against Chelsea.
Like that.
Yeah.
Really,
I'd have said that. Yeah.
I'm not convinced about that, Maisie, but you got no evidence.
Well, I don't have a pen and paper, so
I know. No
the
evidence.
thing is, that's in my head.
Right. Who did Mason Greenwood score his first United goal against? And the
LASK.
answer was, we only played LASK a few months ago. Astana.
Right.
Astana.
That's what I meant.
Astana at Old Trafford.
no.
I knew it was European.
No.
No.
Fair enough. Quite tricky that. You weren't far away in a way, Maisie, if you know what I mean. But
Do I get
only
half a
about
point
six.
for that, Stu?
You're only about 6 months away. He scored it in September, and LASK was in March. So you're only 6 months away.
I know.
6 months and 6,000 miles.
Yes.
Good of you.
Where did United win their first away game of the Premier League season? It was Norwich.
Yes,
Norwich.
I got it.
Yeah,
You didn't get that, Maisie. Come on.
I did. I said it. Serious. If you'd have asked me, I'd have said Norwich. So we're all on 2.
Yeah. How many penalties in all competitions have United been awarded
14.
this season?
20.
20 is the
What?
answer. 20 is the answer. And the bonus is, how many did they score?
16.
Remember?
14.
16.
Well done, Daniel.
16. Believe
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
20. How many games? How many
20.
games have you had, Stu?
In all competitions. Oh, I don't know. In all competitions. Remember?
50.
And then this one.
Mad.
Who did Bruno Fernandes score his first United goal against? The answer was actually
Everton.
Watford.
Chelsea.
Watford at Old Trafford.
No, didn't have that.
So Ben's on 4. Maisie's on 2. Danny's also on 4. So this is it. This is it then. How many goals have United's front three scored between them? And the answer is 61.
61.
Yes.
Danny gets it. What did you say, Ben?
60.
Oh, no. What did you say, mate? Don't even bother. What did you say? He didn't say anything.
62 I had. It should have been 62. A couple of chances I missed.
So,
Stu, what's the breakdown on those 3 strikers then?
22, 23, 17.
Yeah. 22 each for Marcus and Martial, and 17 for Mason.
Ah, Jesus.
I only had Marcus on 21.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there you go. That's
Well done, Daniel.
That's a win.
Back.
Well done, Dan.
So
Cheers,
Ben,
lads.
for all his magic, Ben with his magic glasses. And
The batteries ran out at the end of the glass.
That's it. At least it didn't come last.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wes was last, wasn't it?
Wes was last.
Wes was last. Any thoughts on Wes's punishment for missing this show? mutv@manunited.co.uk. We're not back till Friday because tomorrow, Tuesday's the press conference, Wednesday's the game. So we'll be back on Friday. mutv@manunited.co.uk. Boys, good to see you. I'm glad that you boys could be bothered to show. And,
Yeah.
see you on Friday, guys.
Cheers, troops.
See you Friday, fellas.
See you later, boys.